Hey there everyone, and welcome back to more Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. This is going to be the final part of this walkthrough. And, well, really this is just going to be me showing off a really big glitch in this game, which is kinda similar to what I did with that elevator by accident once, you know, which I ended up showing in part 1 of this walkthrough. Anyway, just real quick, I'm going to be using the same file that I used for the walkthrough, except, you know, this is more like a New Game Plus file. And in the process, I also leveled myself up to level 8 on everything, so I got attack 8 now. Further, I only put one crystal in the palace, even though I got 3 items from 3 palaces, from the first 3. I got the candle, the glove, and the raft, and also the hammer. The 4 things you really need are the jump spell, the fairy spell, the raft, and the glove. Those are the 4 things you need to do this really hefty glitch, which well, not really the glitch by itself, but those are the 4 things you need to actually... Spoilers, this glitch is actually going to make you beat the game ridiculously fast. And you know, those... the other 2 things that you use besides the glitch, you just need to have them in order to, you know, get to the end of the game. Which sounds really weird because I only put 1 crystal in the palace, so I wouldn't be able to get into the Great Palace, right? Well, I'm gonna make the game so confused that it will let me anyway. So yeah, the jump and fairy spell, the raft, and the glove are necessary, and then the hammer I just used there because just so that in the beginning of the game I can just get here faster because that's just more convenient. And then the candle just for the fact that I can see in the dark. You know, so it's no longer dark. Also, I got 2 heart containers and 2 magic containers, as you can see. Well, with how I'm going to do this, I definitely need 6 bars in order to do this. Because if I don't, I'm kind of stuck. Well, not much stuck, but it kind of screws things up. And then the 2 extra heart containers are just more for safety more than anything. Anyway, back here in the town of Darunia, we're gonna glitch the game heavily. But first, let's heal up. Okay, so on this screen, we're gonna use the jump spell. And then, if Link jumps to the top of the screen and then uses the fairy spell, this happens. He falls while jumping. And now I welcome you to Glitch Town. As I'm walking in a building which is outside. And this one is also outside. And this door is also outside, and whoops, stuff is appearing and disappearing. I'm kind of confused. Why is this sign talking to me? This is not a person. What's going on? Okay, you know what? Let's just leave town. Anyway, that glitch, what I just did, gave me scroll lock, and yeah, this is where the fun begins, as you can see. I actually have no idea why this works, but it does. It makes the game really confused. I guess because the glitch town that I went into is an area where you're not meant to be. It's like completely off limits. Also, whoops, I'm slowly over here. And now I'm just walking over here, and whoops. I actually did that wrong. Hopefully I can still save myself. I still did that. That's actually a thing. If I do the wrong thing, most of the time, it will just... the glitch won't work. Okay, here we go. Whoops, now I'm over here. Oh, and there we go, Palace 7. Yup, I just skipped the whole game. And yeah, that's why I said you can beat the game ridiculously fast. What this glitch is also going to do is that if there are enemies in front of me, they'll just not spawn until they're past me. Because the scroll lock causes that, I guess. Okay, so, you know, this is the Great Palace, and this barrier is going to kill me instantly if I go through that. But with this glitch, I say no to that. Whoops, I'm suddenly in the palace. Yup, that happened. Now from here, I basically need to take a really absurdly specific route. If I make a mistake anywhere, it's very likely that I'll end up getting stuck in a wall. And then the only way to get out of it is to hold up and press A on the second controller. Which is like an instant game over. And believe it or not, but this is actually take 4 of this video. Because I kept screwing it up. Also, if you walk left, or like in most screens, if you walk left, the screen won't scroll at all. And if that happens, well, if you try to go back and just if you try to go back and leave the screen up at the wrong time, I'll just get stuck. Well, either that or I'll teleport back into the start of the palace and have to do the entire thing over. Which would pretty much be a failed take as well, because yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, I'm just walking through some walls right here, you know, no big deal. I will actually heal, because I'm low on life, and this guy can totally... If the random number generator is being really trolly, he can just jump right into me and not let me go. Trust me, that has happened before in previous takes. Okay, at least that gave me the jar that I want. I don't technically need it, but it helps. Also, if you die anywhere, the glitch deactivates. But if you die or game over in the Great Palace, but you actually keep scroll lock, and it's the only area in the game that is like that. Oh, and by the way, if you don't scroll the screen yet, you have a messed up menu. It's still functional, but it's like all the way off screen, or at least part of it. Okay, I don't know how I did that, but whatever. And now I want another jar here. Unfortunately, the game is not really being nice to me. And again. Thank you. Okay, so like if I walk forward here and now walk back, as you can see, the screen doesn't scroll. So if I went back now, I would either be stuck or at the beginning of the palace again. So that's not gonna help anybody. And now I'm gonna deal with this guy again. This is like pretty much the only enemy I have to deal with. Most of the other enemies I can just skip by because I guess they don't exist until you get past them. Also what I'm gonna do here, because like you can actually do this whole glitching thing even without New Game Plus. And believe it or not, but you actually don't need the Thunder spell either. All the things that I mentioned is literally everything you need, because you can actually skip Thunderbird entirely. And that's also a glitch, what I'm gonna do, but it actually does not require scroll lock. You can just do it normally, so like, in the main body of this walkthrough, I could have just done that, but you know, of course, that is, if you do that for the main body of the walkthrough, you might as well just make it a speed run. But yeah, that's going to come up very shortly. Hopefully this guy doesn't jump too many times, because otherwise he'll get too close. And okay, we're good. So far so good. Also, you'll realize that the end of the screen previously actually had ground, but here I actually have to jump. Or at least I think I have to. I'm not gonna figure out if that's actually a hole that exists. Anyway, boss bots, nice try, but you didn't get me. Okay, now this part is actually extremely difficult. If I have to use the fairy spell on the top of the screen on a very specific spot. If I fail it, I'm pretty much screwed because I'll end up somewhere entirely different. So I actually know visually where it is, but doing it is another case entirely. Right over here. Hopefully I did it right. Okay, I did. Awesome. And now you do it again over here. And believe it or not, this is actually Thunderbird's room. But I'm on the eastern side of it. Which means I just skipped Thunderbird entirely. And yup, guess where I am? Yup, I'm at the final boss. I just skipped Thunderbird entirely. So like technically in speedruns you could just beat the game in like less than 20 minutes theoretically. I know the tool assisted speedrun can like do it in less than 6 minutes. Hello? Shadow Link or Link Shadow is being kind of weird. And that's the game. Also Link disappears and comes back on the left side. And I got half of the Triforce! Hooray! I guess that makes sense because you'll only beat half the game. I mean, you only really do stuff in the Western continent and then you skip everything else pretty much. So basically what you could just do is go in the first 3 palaces or the second and the third palace, get the dungeon items there, then just leave. No wait, you get the jump spell, you get the fairy spell, you get the 2 items from the dungeons, and then you can just go to the mountain town and just glitch the hell out of the game, and there you go. I did actually have to heavily practice for this, and as I said, I already had 3 failed takes of this. It's not gonna be worth showing, but basically what will happen is, like in the beginning of part 1, where I got stuck in the entrance of the palace, well that's like what could happen half the time. And that very specific jump that I was talking about, well if I did it wrong, I would for some reason end up in another room, which is a room that spawns fish, or bagos. And if you use the fairy spell on the ceiling of that room again, you get stuck. So yeah, it's very, very precise and I actually have to practice a lot for it. But that's it guys, that's the end of this walkthrough. At first I wasn't really sure like if I would really enjoy this at the fullest, but you know what? It actually was kind of fun. Once I started getting better at the game with my practicing it really felt like a really nice game. You know, like my experience made it worth it. And also, I landed on the ceiling in one of the palaces. That was pretty silly as well. I knew that was possible, but whatever. So I'm probably just gonna leave the screen right here. Let me see. Now something that actually I already know from like 1 or 2 months something I know 1 or 2 months already is that in terms of walkthroughs on console, it's pretty much not going to happen unless I just do the old way of recording it, because I pretty much tried the best capture card I could possibly try and I was close, but it still didn't work. And a DVD recorder, which sounds like the easiest thing, that didn't work either. So yeah, the world hates me. So because of that, it's going to be another case of, you know, what am I gonna do next? Because I don't know. I guess only time will tell. Anyway, I'm rambling. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, and I hope you were amused by my glitching, because the first time I saw that I was kind of confused, and I still am. Anyway, peace out. See you guys in the next walkthrough.